which of the following values is equal to the value above? And we got this expression here with a bunch of negative fractional exponents. And at first you might say, okay, how do I deal with this? Maybe, I don't know what the fifth root of 3 is, much less the negative fifth root, and this 1/3 to the negative 2/5. How do I simplify this? And the key realization here is that 1/3 is the same thing as 3 to the negative 1 power. 1/3 is the same thing as 3 to the negative 1 power. And if we do that, I suspect that we're going to be able to get similar bases here. Let me rewrite the whole thing. So it's going to be 3 to the negative 1/5 times, instead of writing 1/3, I could write 3 to the negative 1 power to the negative 2/5 power. And now we could just use up our straight exponent rules to simplify things a little bit. So this business right over here that I'm squaring in this orange color, if I raise something to an exponent and then raise it again to another exponent, that's going to be the same thing as taking our original base and raising it to the negative 1 times the negative 1 times negative 2/5 power. So I can raise it, if I raise it to the negative 1 and then to the negative 2/5, that's the same thing as raising 3 to the negative 1 times negative 2/5 power. And so, and this over here is still going to be 3 to the negative 1/5. And so this is going to be equal to 3 to the negative 1/5 times, now negative 1 times negative 2/5, that's going to be positive 2/5. So times 3 to the 2/5. And now we have a situation where we have the same base. We have the product of 3 to the negative 1/5 times 3 to the positive 2/5. This is going to be equal to, we can take our base 3, it's going to be 3 to the negative 1/5 plus 2/5 power. Plus 2/5 power. If you have the same base, the product of that base raised to one exponent and that same base raised to another exponent, that's the same thing as that base raised to the sum of those exponents. Classic exponent property. I encourage you to go on Khan Academy if this is looking foreign or if you need some review. But now this is pretty straightforward. This is going to be equal to 3 to the negative 1/5 plus 2/5 is just 1/5. And there you have it, 3 to the 1/5 power.